My name is Sally Smith, and in my real life, I am an associate professor of deaf education at the University of Montevallo. Been doing that for a long, long time. Began life as a preschool teacher of deaf and hard of hearing, and then went to the college level to teach there. I've lived in Birmingham practically all my life. Currently live in Montevallo, small town south of Birmingham. Teach there at the university.
Okay. So how did you come by BAO and when?
When?
Yeah.
About 9 years ago, I decided that I wanted to go back to school and to get a degree in counseling. And part of that requirement was to have an internship. And so I have some really good friends who had contracted HIV and AIDS, some who had died from it. Very good friends who were in an at-risk community, and so it's near and dear to my heart. And so I decided that I would like to do my counseling internship here, and the director and the counselor here were kind enough to let me come and spend my internship here. And then I decided that I really enjoyed it. I just stayed around and volunteered for several other things, including the GED program, and it's just it was a good fit for me, and I hope for BAO.
Most people do, but some people may not know what GED is.
Oh, okay. When someone drops out of high school, then they, of course, don't have a high school diploma. And a lot of times later in life, they decide they want to go back to school and get that piece of paper that's really important. It's a gateway to job opportunities or just a personal achievement. So we decided about probably 5 or 6 years ago to start a program for our clients who want to get their high school diplomas. And so we've been working very hard in that direction. We do math and science and social studies. We start where you are and move forward to wherever you end up being. And one of the rules of my class is that the words "I can't" have to stay outside the door. So often people have had bad experiences with school, have failed, and have the idea that they just can't do anything educationally. And I just say, well, that just doesn't exist. We have to say, I haven't learned to do that yet. And so that's our guiding force, not I can't, but I haven't learned to do that yet. And so some of the people in my class came in barely learning how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and now we're doing geometry and algebra. We didn't know where any of the states in the union were, and now we can put them in the different parts of the country that they belong in. We're learning science, we're learning history, all of those kinds of things that you learn in school. In general, with just working here, what for me is so significant is to watch people in everyday life coping with the stigma that goes still with HIV and AIDS. My first connection with HIV and AIDS was back in the 80s, and people didn't survive. And so whether there was a stigma or not really didn't matter because you weren't around very long. And now that people are living with HIV and AIDS and getting on with their lives, it's exciting to me to watch individuals able to go on living and living a useful, productive life. The stories are all kind of meshed together as one big story of survival and stories of triumph. That's exciting to me. One person who I've been with for a long, long time, while I've been here, has gone from being very despondent, and sometimes when I go to visit with that person, there's a real sense of being down. And yet after we have our chat, afternoon chat, the ability to then look at the world in a little different, more positive kind of way. I think that's exciting. And That's what I enjoy about being here, is being able to feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives. And it may be just very small things. I don't know that I believe that those differences have to be anything huge. It may just be as simple as with our GED group now, I can do algebra. With other people, I can now have a positive outlook on life, and I can make it through another day. Sometimes we need help. The group varies. I can have as many as one or two, or I've had as many as 8 and 9 at one time. It varies a lot. So some days I wish I could run through the Xerox machine. Other days I'm fine with just me. So.
And how often do you actually, are you here doing this?
Once a week.
Once a week?
Every Tuesday for 2 hours. It's a great place to be, and a great place to volunteer, and a great group of people to be with. I think the second thing I would say is that working with people with, I'm going to say a disability because that's my background. People who are deaf and hard of hearing, a disability, chronic illness, any of that kind of thing. Your heart has to really see those people as people first. People who have HIV or AIDS, or who are affected by HIV or AIDS. And unless you can put the people first, then this isn't a good place to be, nor is anywhere else a good place to be. And that's just a kind of a personal sense that I have that, first of all, you're a human being, a fellow human being on this journey that I'm on. And I'm really glad you crossed my path. Now, how can we come together on this journey that'll be positive for both of us? And unless one enters into any kind of volunteer situation where the focus is on the clientele that you're serving rather than back on yourself. Yay, I'm great, I'm volunteering here, yay me. It's more the idea of how can we share this journey together to make it good for you and for me.
Do you participate in the AIDS Walk?
Yes. Participate in that. Just participate in the one in Montgomery.
Oh, did you?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, okay, so let's say there's people out there who've never been on a walk. What would you say to encourage them to come and join in the fun?
Join in the fun. I think part of reducing the stigma attached to HIV and AIDS is to be visible, to realize that it's a good thing to participate in the AIDS Walk, that I'm not afraid to be around somebody who has HIV/AIDS, that the more visible, the more, I hate the word normal, but the more we normalize interaction with, again, people with any kind of disability, with HIV/AIDS, chronic illness, or anything, the less threatening that is to the general public. So I would think that, come on down. It's just like a lovely walk with a bunch of people for any other cause. So,
All right.
that it?
Yeah.